Chapter 16 Krishna. Fearlessness, singleness of soul, the will always to strive for wisdom, opened hand and governed appetites, and piety, and love of lonely study, humbleness, uprightness, heed to injure naught which lives, truthfulness, slowness unto wrath, a mind that lightly letteth go what others prize, and equanimity, and charity which speeth no man's faults, and tenderness towards all that suffer, a contented heart, fluttered by no desires, a bearing mild, modest, and grave, with manhood nobly mixed, with patience, fortitude, and purity, an unrevengeful spirit, never given to rate itself too high. Such be the signs, O Indian prince, of him whose feet are set on that fair path which leads to heavenly birth. Deceitfulness, and arrogance, and pride, quickness to anger, harsh and evil speech, and ignorance, to its own darkness blind, these be the signs, my prince, of him whose birth is fated for the regions of the vile. FN number 32. The heavenly birth brings to deliverance, so shouldst thou know. The birth with asuras brings into bondage. Be thou joyous, prince, whose lot is set apart for heavenly birth. 2 stamps there are marked on all living men, divine and undivine. I spake to thee by what marks thou shouldst know the heavenly man. Hear from me now of the unheavenly. They comprehend not, the unheavenly, how souls go forth from me, nor how they come back unto me, nor is there truth in these, nor purity, nor rule of life. This world hath not a law, nor order, nor a lord, so say they, nor hath risen up by cause following on cause, in perfect purposing, but is none other than a house of lust. And, this thing thinking, all those ruined ones of little wit, dark-minded give themselves to evil deeds, the curses of their kind. Surrendered to desires insatiable, full of deceitfulness, folly, and pride, in blindness cleaving to their errors, caught into the sinful course, they trust this lie as it were true, this lie which leads to death, finding in pleasure all the good which is, and crying here it finisheth. Ensnared in nooses of 100 idle hopes, slaves to their passion and their wrath, they buy wealth with base deeds, to glut hot appetites. Thus much, today, they say, we gained. Thereby such and such wish of heart shall have its fill, and this is ours. And th other shall be ours. Today we slew a foe, and we will slay our other enemy tomorrow. Look, are we not lords? Make we not goodly cheer? Is not our fortune famous, brave, and great? Rich are we, proudly born, what other men live like to us? Kill, then, for sacrifice. Cast largesse, and be merry. So they speak darkened by ignorance, and so they fall tossed to and fro with projects, tricked, and bound in net of black delusion, lost in lusts down to foul Naraka. Conceited, fond, stubborn, and proud, dead drunken with the wine of wealth, and reckless, all their offerings have but a show of reverence, being not made in piety of ancient faith. Thus vowed to selfhood, force, insolence, feasting, wrath, these my blasphemers, in the forms they wear and in the forms they breed, my foemen are, hateful and hating, cruel, evil, vile, lowest and least of men, whom I cast down again, and yet again, at end of lives, into some devilish womb, whence birth by birth the devilish wombs respawn them, all beguiled, and, till they find and worship me, sweet prince, tread they that nether road. The doors of hell are threefold, whereby men to ruin pass, the door of lust, the door of wrath, the door of avarice. Let a man shun those 3. He who shall turn aside from entering all those 3 gates of Narak, wendeth straight to find his peace, and comes to Swarga's gate. FN number 33, here endeth chapter 16. Of T. Bhagavad Gita, entitled Deve Saresorpadwibigog, or the book of the separateness of the divine and undivine. Chapter 17 Arjuna. If men forsake the holy ordinance, heedless of Shastras, yet keep faith at heart and worship, what shall be the state of those, great Krishna? Sattvan, Rajas, Tamas? Say. Krishna. Threefold the faith is of mankind and springs from those three qualities, becoming true, or passion-stained, or dark, as thou shalt hear. The faith of each believer, Indian prince, conforms itself to what he truly is. Where thou shalt see a worshipper, that one to what he worships lives assimilate, such as the shrine, so is the votary, the soothfast souls adore true gods, the souls obeying Rajas worship Rakshasas, FN number 34, or Yakshas, and the men of darkness pray to Pretas and to Bhutas. FN number 35, and those who practice bitter penance, not enjoined by rightful rule penance which hath its root in self-sufficient, proud hypocrisies those men, passion beset, violent, wild, torturing the witless ones my elements shut in fair company within their flesh, nay, me myself, present within the flesh, know them to devils devoted, not to heaven, for like as foods are threefold for mankind in nourishing, so is their threefold way of worship, abstinence, and almsgiving. Hear this of me. There is a food which brings force, substance, strength, and health, and joy to live, being well seasoned, cordial, comforting, the soothfast meat. And there be foods which bring aches and unrests, and burning blood, and grief, being too biting, heating, salt, and sharp, and therefore craved by too strong appetite. And there is foul food kept from overnight, FN number 36, savourless, filthy, which the fowl will eat, a feast of rottenness, meat for the lips of such as love the darkness. Thus with rites, a sacrifice not for rewardment made, offered in rightful wise, when he who vows saith, with heart devout, this I should do, is soothfast right. But sacrifice for gain, offered for good repute, be sure that this, O best of Bharatas, is Raja's right, with stamp of passion. And a sacrifice offered against the laws, with no due dole of food giving, with no accompaniment of hallowed hymn, nor largesse to the priests, in faithless celebration, call it vile, the deed of darkness. Lost. Worship of gods meriting worship, lowly reverence of twiceborns, teachers, elders, purity, rectitude, and the Brahmacharyas vow, and not to injure any helpless thing, these make a true religiousness of act. Words causing no man woe, words ever true, gentle and pleasing words, and those ye say in murmured reading of a sacred writ, these make the true religiousness of speech. Serenity of soul, benignity, sway of the silent spirit, constant stress to sanctify the nature, these things make good right, and true religiousness of mind. Such threefold faith, in highest piety kept, with no hope of gain, by hearts devote, is perfect work of Sattvan, true belief. Religion shown in act of proud display to win good entertainment, worship, fame. Such say I is of Rajas, rash and vain. Religion followed by a witless will to torture self, or come at power to hurt another, tease of Tamas, dark and ill. The gift lovingly given, when one shall say now must I gladly give, when he who takes can render nothing back, made in due place, due time, and to a meet recipient, is gift of Sattvan, fair and profitable. The gift selfishly given, where to receive is hoped again, or when some end is sought, or where the gift is proffered with a grudge, this is of Rajas, stained with impulse Illinois. The gift churlishly flung, at evil time, in wrongful place, to base recipient, made in disdain or harsh unkindliness, is gift of Tamas, dark, it doth not bless. FN number 37, here endeth chapter 17. of T. Bhagavad Gita, entitled Sraddha Vibhagayog, or the Book of Religion by the Threefold Kinds of Faith. Chapter 18 Arjuna. Fain would I better know, thou glorious one, the very truth-heart's Lord, of sannyas, abstention, and enunciation, Lord, Tyaga, and what separates these twain, Krishna. The poets rightly teach that sannyas is the foregoing of all acts which spring out of desire, and their wisest say Tyaga is renouncing fruit of acts. There be among the saints some who have held all actions sinful, and to be renounced, and some who answer, nay, the goodly acts as worship, penance, alms must be performed. Hear now my sentence, best of Bharatas. 'Tis well set forth, O chaser of thy foes. Renunciation is of threefold form, and worship, penance, alms, not to be stayed, nay, to be gladly done, for all those three are purifying waters for true souls. Yet must be practiced even those high works in yielding up attachment, and all fruit produced by works. This is my judgment, Prince. This my insuperable and fixed decree. Abstaining from a work by right prescribed never is meet. So to abstain doth spring from darkness, and delusion teacheth it. Abstaining from a work grievous to flesh, when one saith 'tis unpleasing, this is null. Such an one acts from passion, naught of gain wins his renunciation. But, Arjun, abstaining from attachment to the work, abstaining from rewardment in the work, while yet one doeth it full faithfully, saying, 'tis right to do, that is true act and abstinence. Who doeth duties so, unvexed if his work fail, if it succeed unflattered, in his own heart justified, quit of debates and doubts, his is true act. For, being in the body, none may stand wholly aloof from act, yet, who abstains from profit of his acts is abstinent. The fruit of labors, in the lives to come, is threefold for all men, desirable and undesirable, and mixed of both, but no fruit is at all where no work was. Hear from me, long-armed Lord, the makings 5 which go to every act, in Sankhya taught as necessary. First the force, and then the agent, next, the various instruments, fourth, the especial effort, fifth, the God. What work soever any mortal doth of body, mind, or speech, evil or good, by these 5 doth he that. Which being thus, whoso, for lack of knowledge, seeth himself as the sole actor, knoweth naught at all and seeth naught. Therefore, I say, if one holding aloof from self with unstained mind should slay all yonder host, being bid to slay, he doth not slay, he is not bound thereby. Knowledge, the thing known, and the mind which knows, these make the threefold starting ground of act. The act, the actor, and the instrument, these make the threefold total of the deed. But knowledge, agent, act, are differenced by 3 dividing qualities. Hear now which be the qualities dividing them. There is true knowledge. Learn thou it is this, to see one changeless life in all the lives, and in the separate, one inseparable. There is imperfect knowledge, that which sees the separate existences apart, and, being separated, holds them real. There is false knowledge, that which blindly clings to one as if 'twere all, seeking no cause, deprived of light, narrow, and dull, and dark. There is right action, that which being enjoined is wrought without attachment, passionlessly, for duty, not for love, nor hate, nor gain. There is vain action, that which men pursue aching to satisfy desires, impelled by sense of self, with all-absorbing stress. This is of rajas passionate and vain. There is dark action, when one doth a thing heedless of issues, heedless of the hurt or wrong for others, heedless if he harm his own salties of Thomas, black and bad. There is the rightful door. He who acts free from self-seeking, humble, resolute, steadfast, in good or evil hap the same, content to do aright he truly acts. There is impassioned door. He that works from impulse, seeking profit, rude and bold to overcome, unchastened, slave by turns of sorrow and of joy, of rajas he. And there be evil doors, loose of heart, low-minded, stubborn, fraudulent, remiss, dull, slow, despondent children of the dark. Here, too, of intellect and steadfastness the threefold separation, conqueror prince, how these are set apart by qualities. Good is the intellect which comprehends the coming forth and going back of life, what must be done, and what must not be done, what should be feared, and what should not be feared, what binds and what emancipates the soul, that is of Satwan, prince, of soothfastness. Mad is the intellect which, knowing right and knowing wrong, and what is well to do and what must not be done, yet understands naught with firm mind, nor as the calm truth is. This is of Rajas, prince, and passionate. Evil is intellect which, wrapped in gloom, looks upon wrong as right, and sees all things contrariwise of truth. O Pritha's son, that is of Tamas, dark and desperate. Good is the steadfastness whereby a man masters his beats of heart, his very breath of life, the action of his senses, fixed in never shaken faith and piety, that is of Satwan, prince, soothfast and fair. Stained is the steadfastness whereby a man holds to his duty, purpose, effort, end, for life's sake, and the love of goods to gain, Arjuna. Teas of Rajas, passion stamp. Sad is the steadfastness wherewith the fool cleaves to his sloth, his sorrow, and his fears, his folly and despair. This Pritha's son is born of Tamas, dark and miserable. Here further, chief of Bharatas, from me the threefold kinds of pleasure which there be. Good pleasure is the pleasure that endures, banishing pain for aye, bitter at first as poison to the soul, but afterward sweet as the taste of amrit. Drink of that. It springeth in the spirit's deep content. And painful pleasure springeth from the bond between the senses and the sense world. Sweet as amrit is its first taste, but its last bitter as poison. Teas of Rajas, prince, and foul and dark the pleasure is which springs from sloth and sin and foolishness, at first and at the last, and all the way of life the soul bewildering. Teas of Tamas, prince, for nothing lives on earth, nor midst the gods in utmost heaven, but hath its being bound with these three qualities, by nature framed. The work of Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras, O thou slayer of thy foes, is fixed by reason of the qualities planted in each. A Brahmin's virtues, prince, born of his nature, are serenity, self-mastery, religion, purity, patience, uprightness, learning, and to know the truth of things which be. A Kshatriya's pride, born of his nature, lives in valor, fire, constancy, skillfulness, spirit in fight, and open-handedness and noble mien, as of a lord of men. A Vaisya's task, born with his nature, is to till the ground, tend cattle, venture trade. A Sudra's state, suiting his nature, is to minister. Whoso performeth diligent, content the work allotted him, whate'er it be, lays hold of perfectness. Hear how a man findeth perfection, being so content, he findeth it through worship wrought by work of him that is the source of all which lives, of him by whom the universe was stretched. Better thine own work is, though done with fault, than doing others' work, even excellently. He shall not fall in sin who fronts the task set him by nature's hand. Let no man leave his natural duty, prince, though it bear blame. For every worketh blame, as every flame is wrapped in smoke. Only that man attains perfect surcease of work whose work was wrought with mind unfettered, soul wholly subdued, desires forever dead, results renounced. Learn from me, son of Kunti, also this, how one, attaining perfect peace, attains Brahm, the supreme, the highest height of all. Devoted with a heart grown pure, restrained in lordly self-control, foregoing whiles of song and senses, freed from love and hate, dwelling mid solitudes, in diet spare, with body, speech, and will tame to obey, ever to holy meditation vowed, from passions liberate, quit of the self, of arrogance, impatience, anger, pride, freed from surroundings, quiet, lacking naught. Such an one grows to oneness with the Brahm. Such an one, growing one with Brahm, serene, sorrows no more, desires no more. His soul, equally loving all that lives, loves well me, who have made them, and attains to me. By this same love and worship doth he know me as I am, how high and wonderful, and knowing, straightway enters into me. And whatsoever deeds he doeth fixed in me, as in his refuge he hath won for ever and for ever by my grace th eternal rest. So win thou. In thy thoughts do all thou dost for me. Renounce for me. Sacrifice heart and mind and will to me. Live in the faith of me. In faith of me all dangers thou shalt vanquish, by my grace. But, trusting to thyself and heeding not, thou canst but perish. If this day thou say'st, relying on thyself, I will not fight. Vain will the purpose prove. Thy qualities would spur thee to the war. What thou dost shun, misled by fair illusions, thou wouldst seek against thy will, when the task comes to thee waking the promptings in thy nature set. There lives a master in the hearts of men maketh their deeds, by subtle pulling strings, dance to what tune he will. With all thy soul trust him, and take him for thy succor, Prince. So only so, Arjuna, shalt thou gain by grace of him the uttermost repose, the eternal place. Thus hath been opened thee this truth of truths, the mystery more hid than any secret mystery. Meditate, and as thou wilt then act. Nay, but once more take my last word, my utmost meaning have. Precious thou art to me, right well beloved. Listen, I tell thee for thy comfort this. Give me thy heart. Adore me. Serve me. Cling in faith and love and reverence to me. So shalt thou come to me. I promise true, for thou art sweet to me. And let go those rights and writ duties. Fly to me alone, make me thy single refuge. I will free thy soul from all its sins. Be of good cheer. Hide, the holy Krishna saith, this from him that hath no faith, him that worships not, nor seeks wisdom's teaching when she speaks. Hide it from all men who mock. But, wherever, mid the flock of my lovers, one shall teach this divinest, wisest, speech teaching in the faith to bring truth to them, and offering of all honor unto me unto Brahma cometh he. Nay, and nowhere shall ye find any man of all mankind doing dearer deed for me, nor shall any dearer be in my earth. Yea, furthermore, whoso reads this converse o'er, held by us upon the plain, pondering piously and fain, he hath paid me sacrifice. Krishna speaketh in this wise. Yea, and whoso, full of faith, heareth wisely what it saith, heareth meekly, when he dies, surely shall his spirit rise to those regions where the blessed, free of flesh, in joyance rest. Hath this been heard by thee, O Indian prince? With mind intent. Hath all the ignorance which bred thy trouble vanished, my Arjun? Arjuna. Trouble and ignorance are gone, the light hath come unto me, by thy favor, Lord. Now am I fixed. My doubt is fled away. According to thy word, so will I do. Sanjaya. Thus gathered I the gracious speech of Krishna, O my king, thus have I told, with heart a-thrill, this wise and wondrous thing by great Vyasa's learning writ, how Krishna's self made known the yoga, being yoga's lord. So is the high truth shown. And I, when I remember, O Lord my king, again Arjuna and the god in talk, and all this holy strain, great is my gladness, when I muse that splendor, passing speech, of Hari, visible and plain, there is no tongue to reach my marvel and my love and bliss. O Archer Prince, all hail! O Krishna, Lord of Yoga, surely there shall not fail blessing, and victory, and power, for thy most mighty sake, where this song comes of Arjun, and how with God he spake. Here ends, with chapter 18. Entitled Mokshasanaya Sayog, or the Book of Religion by Deliverance and Renunciation, the Bhagavad Gita. FN number 1, some repetitionary lines are here omitted. FN number 2, technical phrases of Vedic religion. FN number 3, the whole of this passage is highly involved and difficult to render. FN number 4, I feel convinced Sankhyanan and Yoganan must be transposed here in sense. FN number 5, I am doubtful of accuracy here. FN number 6, a name of the sun. FN number 7, without desire of fruit. FN number 8, that is, joy and sorrow, success and failure, heat and cold, and C. FN number 9, i.e., the body. FN number 10, the Sanskrit has this play on the double meaning of Atman. FN number 11, so in original. FN number 12, beings of low and devilish nature. FN number 13, Krishna. FN number 14, I read here Janma, birth, not Jora, age. FN number 15, I have discarded 10 lines of Sanskrit text here as an undoubted interpolation by some Vedantist. FN number 16, the Sanskrit poem here rises to an elevation of style and manner which I have endeavored to mark by change of meter. FN number 17, Ahimsa. FN number 18, the nectar of immortality. FN number 19, called the Jap. FN number 20, the compound form of Sanskrit words. FN number 21, Kamalapatraksha. FN number 22, these are all divine or deified orders of the Hindu pantheon. FN number 23, hail to thee, God of gods, be favorable. FN number 24, the wind. FN number 25, not peering about, anapeksha. FN number 26, the Calcutta edition of the Mahabharata has these 3 opening lines. FN number 27, this is the nearest possible version of Kshetrak Kshetrajniyojnanan Yat Tajnan Maton Memar. FN number 28, I omit 2 lines of the Sanskrit here, evidently interpolated by some Vedantist. FN number 29, wombs. FN number 30, I do not consider the Sanskrit verses here which are somewhat freely rendered an attack on the authority of the Vedas, with Mr. Davies, but a beautiful lyrical episode, a new parable of the fig tree. FN number 31, I omit a verse here, evidently interpolated. FN number 32, of the Asuras, lit. FN number 33, I omit the 10 concluding shlokas, with Mr. Davis. FN number 34, Rakshasas and Yakshas are unembodied but capricious beings of great power, gifts, and beauty, same times also of benignity. FN number 35, these are spirits of evil wandering ghosts. FN number 36, Yatayaman, food which has remained after the watches of the night. In India this would probably go bad. FN number 37, I omit the concluding shlokas, as of very doubtful authenticity.